invoices. To be sure. Would you just say a few words there, Joe? Like your invoices.
Okay. Yeah. How are we doing? Is that okay?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And finally. You're going to start with a question again.
Okay, I suppose
just 2 seconds. Sorry.
Okay.
Just get the in focus here. And we want.
Okay, I suppose, Pat, an important topic I just wanted to bring up is avoiding falls. Obviously, it's not good for any of us to fall when we get to a certain age, but you're more risk for falling, and you can do certain things in the house, like as you say, modify the showers and all the rest of it. And you were unfortunate when you were in London that you were in an unmodified shower.
Yeah.
And this episode happened. But I've noticed that sometimes you don't always use your stick, and I kind of passed that observation on to you recently. And
Yeah, that's true. Normally when I'm going out, I normally have the stick with me.
Mhm.
And I find it a very effective thing as a support.
sure,
The other thing about when you have the stick when you're out, it does affect how people react to you.
yeah,
I found enormous support from the public. If you're crossing a road and there's a car a bit of distance away, they all slow down.
when they see the stick, is it?
Absolutely. Well, the fact you're sticking, you're kind of
Sure.
not walking normally, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're very courteous, going in, opening doors and things like that. They're always very young and old.
Yes.
I must
Yeah.
say, it's great.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to some place and sit down like that, and there's not enough for seating, somebody will always give way. to
Sure.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
very, very important. And from people like myself, we appreciate this enormously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtesy to people who have disabilities is very important.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned earlier about the parking, the difficulties with the parking. Would you have any final words on that?
Of the
Accessing parking spaces.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's my hobby horse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know that you have disability park spaces. They're assigned for the disabled, and yet people will come in and park there and can spend a long time there.
Sure.
I
yeah.
think it's something that should be enforced. Not on my behalf, it's for everybody
Sure.
who's disabled like that.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason,
Yeah.
they're there for certain people, and it should be reserved for those
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
How do you think, like that's probably a public education thing, is it, that you see young people just kind of use them, they don't think about it.
Well, young and old do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just people, I suppose, in the Irish psyche, they don't kind of respect these rules
Sure.
and regulations
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I remember when I was in Australia one time, I used the disability disc, and they're very heavy on it. If somebody parks in a disabled spot without having the proper disc, there's I think about 500 Australian dollars fine for it. Very severe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tolerate it at all there.
Sure.
Here there's a kind of, we've something else to do, and I suppose there's enough of the traffic wardens and things like that.
Sure.
I often wonder myself, it's left to traffic wardens, the Gardaí, they have a responsibility in that area as
Sure.
well,
Yeah.
and they should see it. Just because I went down one night when I played cards,
Mm-hmm.
and there was somebody there, I parked in there, and I went down to him, I said, have you disability parked? Oh no, I haven't. Well, I said, I'd walk down to the barracks and bring up somebody, and you'll have a $80 fine, a euro fine. You can't park there.
Yeah.
That's and maybe get 2 penalty points as well.
Yeah.
So people, they're not aware of it. It should
Sure.
be brought to attention
Yeah.
a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not talking on behalf of myself, but people generally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything else you would like to add, Pat, or have we covered?
Yeah, I
Most
think
of the
we've
bases.
covered it most, but I suppose I haven't covered sufficiently that it's the family support, and
Yeah,
my wife, she's
sure,
the leader in that, and
sure.
but she's put an enormous amount of time,
Yes.
over time like that,
Absolutely.
and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Because as I say, going abroad and things like that, I go along with it, and everything is laid on. The wheelchair access is great at the airports,
yes,
except Heathrow.
yeah.
A bit of a nightmare there.
Why is that, do you think, in Heathrow? What's the problem
Well,
there?
you come from one terminal to another, and that's no problem. To transfer from the plane
Yeah,
to that terminal, and then you're brought to one terminal to another to get a connecting flight.
yes,
And you're brought in, and you're left there, and it's somebody's supposed to come along and collect you.
sure.
And we were out in San Francisco recently, and we had booked because business class, because for long distance travel like you, I have to have a bit of space and comfort. But we were at the airport. We had we were Virgin, and we were there 3 hours from the time we left Cork until the flight was taken off. When you got to the ground, about a quarter of an hour before we hit the board.
Mm-hmm.
It was just hold up in there.
Sure.
You parked there, and nobody came along to pick up. You
Sure.
were the next passenger.
Yeah, yeah, okay. To go back, I think one of the things that struck me about your story, Pat, was like the importance of effective communication from the medical staff.
Yeah.
Be they nurses, doctors, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, whatever. That the communication
Yeah.
is key, isn't it?
I think I've been extremely lucky
Yeah,
at all stages. There's nothing hidden away.
sure.
You're told exactly what's the present diagnosis,
Sure.
what's the head, and what you have to do, and all that.
Yeah.
I found that they've been very good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
and it's very important
Yeah.
from the patient's point of view that this is out in the open, and you can benefit by that, and you build up a lot of confidence in
Sure.
in the doctors as well,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all stages
Yeah.
that I've gone through. Yeah.
Great. Good. I think we'll wrap it up here, sorry, Pat.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You've
you.
been great. You've been a good sport.
Ah, well,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to
That's-
look forward.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that'll be very useful for the students.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Pat.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the purpose of
Yeah.
my illnesses, is to help the new generations of medics coming along.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. You okay,
Yeah.
Declan?
Good. Excellent.
Thanks, Pat. You're great.
Geez, you're a superb interviewee anyway, I can tell you that you wore out one battery there. You wore out one full battery.
And he's only getting one.